doing some testing here with the two different amps for the RGB Nintendo. I have a CXA2075M amp and I have an N64 style amp. This meter is set up to measure power draw. Right now it is showing Zelda with the CXA. It doesn't look too bad. Less jail bars than the N64. But in my opinion it has kind of a green tint to it. But the biggest surprise that I've found is the power usage. 100 milliamps for the CXA amp. And I'm basically going off of the data sheet for the CXA, except you have to feed sync to the CXA, and then you basically also tap off of the PPU or whatever to go to the TV. And the data sheet says you feed it through a 2.2K resistor, and then you have a 46 picofarad resistor to ground. Well, that didn't work. And I was just playing with it, and I happened to rub my jumper across the leg of the resistor, and I got a picture, just a quick hit. So that told me I needed more resistance. I put a 10K pot on there and kept winding it up, and finally I got a good pick. So I have a 2.2K resistor in series with a 10K resistor, and then it feeds to the CXA, and I get a picture, really good picture of no jail bars, but it's a little dull, and to me it has a little bit of a greenish tint to it than normal. So I wanted to be able to flip between them to get a better idea of which one would have a better picture. Also, if I let this run long enough, I think I start getting brownouts. It's already happened to me where the picture was just jittering or doing something funny, and I still had the RF hooked up to just for sound on the other TV, and I could feel the heat on the heat sink, and I knew something was drawing too much juice. And there you go, it's drawing 100 milliamps, just the CXA chip. So I think it's to the point where it's going to start overloading the 7805. I do have a kilowatt meter, and it's showing 0.09 amps total draw, and I think an unmodded top loader is like 0.06. And my power adapter is identical to an original Nintendo. It's 9 volts AC, 1.3 amp output. So I wired this switch up to switch between, to power one or the other. So if I flip it, it's going to go to the N64 style amp, and immediately you can just tell it is a much nicer picture, way more vibrant colors. However, more visible jail bars. But on this TV, it's not even close to noticeable or bad. And then, I don't know if that's visible or not, but it's drawing 28.5 milliamps. Much, much, much less. 1/3 of what the CXA by itself is drawing. Totally ridiculous. And if I switch it back, I have to reset it, get a screen to come up, and I think just because of my leads, it takes a while to start back up, and eventually it'll come up to 100 milliamps again. Oh, it's doing all kinds of craziness now. Yeah, these leads are not set up for what they're not made for what I've got it set up for. I can't find any leads with alligator clips to do it right. But yeah, we're back up to 100 milliamps for the CXA, and switch to the N64 and bam, right down to 28. And a better picture. Now obviously I can't say for absolute certainty that the way I have it wired up isn't affecting the output of the CXA, but for my money right now, the N64 is the better option here. If I end up making one with a CXA, then I'm gonna have to put its own regulator on it or upgrade the original 7805. Something will have to change.